All right, friends, today let's start out by inferring or using what we already know to figure out what we think is going to happen next. Now, remember, the boys have had a great time playing together, haven't they? And when Dad brought out the pie on this page, and he was kind of trying to say, hey, listen, he's my friend. Don't bring out the enemy pie. But Dad is like, sure, sure, okay. So now let's see what happens. Uh-oh. Dad dished up 3 plates side by side with big pieces of pie and giant scoops of ice cream. He passed one to me and one to Jeremy. Wow, Jeremy said, looking at the pie. My dad never makes pies like this. It was at that point that I panicked. I didn't want Jeremy to eat enemy pie. He was my friend. I couldn't let him eat it. What do you think that word panicked means? Well, let me use my clues around the word to try to figure it out. So it says, it was at this point that I panicked. Okay, so what had just happened? Wow, Jeremy said, looking at the pie. My dad never makes pies like this. So it sounds like he's kind of excited, doesn't it? And it was at that point I panicked. I didn't want Jeremy to eat enemy pie. He was my friend. I couldn't let him eat it. Look at his face. He doesn't look happy, does he? So he's wanting to stop Jeremy Ross from eating that pie. And his face looks a little tense. So I'm going to infer that panic probably means that he's a little scared and he doesn't know what to do next, right? Let's keep going. Jeremy, don't eat it. It's bad pie. I think it's poisonous or something. Jeremy's fork stopped before reaching his mouth. He crumpled his eyebrows and looked at me funny. I felt relieved. I had saved his life. I was a hero. Do you think it's really poisonous pie? Ha 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 ha. Even before we read, let's use our picture clues. Look at Dad. He has it all over his mouth and his pie is almost gone. Does it look like it's poisonous? No way. So I think it is not a bad pie at all. Let's read to find out. If it's so bad, Jeremy asked, then why has your dad already eaten half of it? I turned to look at my dad. Sure enough, he was eating enemy pie. Good stuff, he mumbled through a mouthful, and that was all he said. I sat there watching them eat enemy pie for a few seconds. Dad was laughing, Jeremy was happily eating, and neither of them was losing any hair. It seemed safe enough, so I took a tiny taste. Enemy pie was delicious. After dessert, Jeremy rode his bike home, but not before inviting me over to play on his trampoline in the morning. He said he'd teach me how to flip. As for enemy pie, I still don't know how to make it. I still wonder if enemies really do hate it, or if their hair falls out or their breath turns bad. But I don't know if I'll ever get an answer because I just lost my best enemy. So what is the lesson that you think we learned from this story, Enemy Pie? I think the lesson is that if you treat people nice, then they don't become your enemy. They become your friend. Great job. In your reading today, try to figure out what you think is going to happen next in the story before you turn the page. Use all of your clues in the books that you're reading in order to figure out what you think is going to happen next. Good job, second graders.